possible to close. Snake skin, yeah. So they come in, drop their skin, and leave. Yeah.
It's been a couple of years.
That's a lot of snake skin, man.
I have another girlfriend, also my sister, and my other girlfriend is pregnant. She's in the hospital.
I have no clue. Dude, look at this. Look at this one.
I took over the planet, one of the planets. And yeah, you know.
Right there. Yeah, oh yeah, scary.
This is my second castle on this
I wonder if any
desert
haunting goes
planet.
down here. Who
I have
knows?
2 castles.
Now this is coming back up the stairs. Look how dark it is now. Without a light.
So yeah, you know, I have 2 planets basically. Now, and I have, you know, the bloody 2 kingdoms on one planet and another planet. The Siths give the other planet to me. Whatever planet I take over for the Siths, they will allow to me to have it. They send different people to take over different planets.
Oh my god.
And they will own it like me. I own this planet now, and I own the other planet. So, yeah.
Those little circles that you could stick a gun through.
Oh?
You could, like, basically defend yourself with the guns. Because they used to do that back in the day for the Native Americans in case they got, like, attacked.
And that's here in this house.
And the woman who used to live here actually covered it up.
Okay.
That's why it's not there.
So we're learning as we go.
Yeah.
We can close this door, it's kind of creepy. I think we do a ghost investigation in that house though. This room. Yeah, that room is insane.
Yeah. I'm talking out of character for a second. I forgot what is named this character and how old he is. So I'm just gonna call him James Skywalker. He's the grandson of Anakin Skywalker. So yeah. And he's 15 years old. So yeah, that's all basically. Okay, go on the counter now. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh man. Hell yeah. I'm just 15 years old. My name is James Skywalker. And I own 2 planets. Right now. No one can stop me from taking over the whole universe. And then moving on to all universes, basically.
Sure enough, the outside is surrounded by farmlands. Crazy wind is going on tonight. The clouds are moving fast. I don't know what's gonna happen inside, but I'm ready for it.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm outside of the house doing a little walkthrough. Seth is inside, filming some B-roll shots, exploring. I just want to see what else is on this list. Because obviously we know that people out there filming all these things freezing. And what happened? You guys said you
Let me pause it. And let me show you my base. Here is my, you know, what, from my spaceship basically. And then in here, this is my second kingdom. And here is gonna be nothing basically. Up here is the same basically, the balcony. And then down. And then up here, what's up? Okay, nothing, it's still getting worked on. Okay, down here is down here. Okay, down here is the prison cells area. Look for prisoners, basically. And then down here is the club what I own. So yeah. And yeah, look, this is my bloody, you know, chair for the king, basically. That's not over there, like, that's not my kingdom, basically. Otherwise, I just remembered, otherwise I would have had the king chair. So, this is my kingdom, that's my house, over there. So, yeah, I just realized that, basically. And yeah, look, prisoners. So yeah, these prisoners are fugitives, basically. In my kingdom. So yeah, I guess let's head up top, go on the balcony, smoke some weed, and watch YouTube like normal. Just the balcony area? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Let's head out this way. See here, look at that beautiful view of the planet, of the desert planet, of the Moana planet. So yeah, look at that beautiful planet. The view.
Upstairs with me.
Okay.
Let's have another joint.
I swear when you guys came walking through, I thought that was halfway.
Alright, so what am I might be missing?
The door just kind of
Open by itself?
opened and closed.
Let's see if we can capture that.
Yeah. I swear.
Shit. Here we are.
Yo,
Okay.
did you hear that?
Yeah. That's bizarre.
No one's there.
No one's there.
I did not even catch that by watching it.
It's this door right here.
This one?
Yeah.
That one's
That door just actually closed. And I hit record as soon as I heard. I don't know if this
It
caught
slammed
this.
as soon as I hit the record button, so I didn't get it. But
So
you
I
did.
know.
Yeah, it's opening up. Here. It's opening, close it. It's a start. We gotta set the REM pods.
Can you shut the door?
Shit.
It's like there can be people in this.
I know if the ghosts want to play, they can play. Got everyone by the door now. We all want to see this. Okay.
Okay, it's finished. What else should I watch then? What else?
I've always gotten your lazy man.
Disney produces some of the greatest movies of all time, especially for kids. But there are some things in the films that you may not have noticed when you were little. Stay tuned to find out why we believe Anna from Frozen may have superpowers. New around here? Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to The Things for more great videos like this. Now on to 10 paused Disney moments that snuck by kids. Drunk Jessie. Who hasn't seen Toy Story? If you haven't seen the movie, then you have definitely been missing out. Toy Story is a classic that is basically a rite of passage. It's a movie about friendship, love, and growing up. Most of us watched the movie as children. It was something that your mom probably put on to keep you busy while she did other things. Because we watched it so young, there were a lot of things that happened in the movie that just slipped by us. But when you watch it as an adult, you can notice that some of the scenes in the film are definitely not suited for kids. For instance, there is one scene in Toy Story 2 where Jessie is talking to Buzz. We all know that Jessie and Buzz didn't have the best relationship, but when you pause the screen on their conversation, Jessie starts to look like she may be under the influence. Seriously, see for yourself. Look at how her eyes are rolled back into her head. To make matters worse, look at the way that Buzz is looking at her. He looks horrified at how drunk she is. This is super weird. We wonder why the animators would make her look like that.
I guess let's pause it and let's take a vehicle down on the ground and head to my house. Or if there's no vehicle there, walk there pretty much. So yeah. Hey boss. Hey. Hey boss. Hey. Let's head out, I guess. Is there any vehicles nearby? No, there's not. Okay, let's head to my house. Let's walk there. My house is over here, so yeah. Here we are at my place. Let's head to my room. Is my room up here or? No, that's the woman's room. What about up here? Please tell me it's up here. Yeah, it is. Nice. Let's close this door. Head to bed. Okay, it's 9 AM. Let's close this door. And then head up top, I guess. Here we are. And let's head to my kingdom, basically. Here we are. My kingdom. My castle. And my headquarters on this planet. So, yeah. Let's head up top. Go up on the balcony, smoke some weed. And do the normal stuff. If you didn't hear me before, it's been a few years and my girlfriend's sister is pregnant. She's in the hospital right now, and my other sister, I'm going out with her too. So yeah. Let's press play, I guess. So yeah, pretty much, you know.
Tarzan with her foot. Now, we have heard that love is pain before, but strangling may be going too far. Seriously, her foot is absolutely wrapped around his neck. We really want to know how Tarzan survived. Snow White's eyes. Snow White is a beloved movie for most people. It's classic. It's the age-old tale of a girl who was mistreated by her stepmother and then ran out to live amongst 7 dwarfs. Totally relatable, right? Did you know that Snow White was Disney's first animated feature-length film? Oh yeah, it paved the way for all of the other Disney movies that we know and love. Because it's so old, it only makes sense that some of the animations would be a little off, don't you think? Anyway, there is one part in the movie that is particularly funny when paused that you probably never noticed as a kid. When Snow White is running away from her stepmother and her evil evil henchman, she falls. Pay close attention to her as she falls. At one moment, her eyes are actually pointing in different directions. The animation is completely off for a second, but nobody probably noticed it in the animation room when they were making the film because it's such a small part of the movie. We're kind of happy that they left this part in the film, though. It definitely makes for a funny scene and is like a little hidden secret. Aladdin disfigured. Speaking of funny moments when movies are paused, we absolutely have to bring up the scene in Aladdin. But first, let's lay the groundwork. You know the movie Aladdin, right? It's the movie about the poor kid who finds a magic genie and pretty much uses him to land the love of his life. We know. Freaking adorable, right? Anyway, though the overall storyline may be cute, there are some pretty freaky moments in the film that you only need to pause to see. What are we talking about? There is a moment in the movie where Aladdin is walking and laughing. It seems normal, but if you pause it at a certain moment, things get really creepy. See what we're talking about? Aladdin's teeth look insane. He looks like a hillbilly, and it looks like his head is coming out of the side of his neck. What a creepy image. Who approved this for kids? We are guessing that the animators probably didn't notice the odd positioning that they drew Aladdin in this frame. And if they had, they probably would have switched it up. At least we hope they would have. But then again, if they had, the movie wouldn't have been half as interesting. Gaston fell. We can't have this list without mentioning a super awkward freeze frame in Beauty and the Beast. In the movie, Belle is a shy girl who cares more about books than romance. Unfortunately for her, the town hunk Gaston has a thing for her. Everyone in the town loves Gaston, but Belle can see right through him. During the scene where all the guys in the bar are singing Gaston's praises, things get a little weird. And we aren't just talking about the fact that it seems like all of Gaston's friends are in love with him. No, if you pause the movie at a certain point, you can't help but notice that LaFaux's nose makes an extremely inappropriate shape. Normally, we would have just breezed by this and say that this was just an accident, but the shape is so blatantly obvious that we feel like it had to be put in there on purpose. How do you accidentally draw something that explicit? You can't. If it was an accident, it wouldn't have been drawn so perfectly. And it takes two characters coming together to make that inappropriate body part, so that means that the animators had to pay even closer attention to what they were doing. We aren't buying it, Disney. Glimpse of Sven. Moana is one of the newer Disney movies. Because of that, it also deters from normal Disney makeup. Though Moana is indeed a princess, she doesn't spend her time looking for a prince. In fact, she almost never talks about romance. Instead, she spends her time focusing on what she is passionate about and trying to find a way to help her family and her people. On her journey, she meets a demigod named Maui. Maui has a magical fish hook that allows him to change into anything he wants. As if that isn't interesting enough, in one scene, Maui turns into something even more peculiar. When he first gets his fish hook back, he begins changing into several different animals. When you watch this part, make sure to slow the film down. Now, do you see what we were talking about? At a certain point, Maui transforms into Sven from Frozen. Remember? Sven, Kristoff's loyal sidekick. He has no business in Moana, or in the water for that matter. So what is he doing there? Well, Disney likes to sneak in little treats for viewers from time to time. Most people don't notice them, but if you pay close attention or pause films, you can actually pick them out. Ursula's face. The Little Mermaid is one of our favorite Disney films. The story follows a young mermaid who literally risks it all for love. In order to be with a man that she doesn't even know at all that well, she gives up her voice. Some might say that's crazy. Others might say that is exactly what you have to do to find real love. Anyway, in order to spend time with the man of her dreams, Ariel must trade her voice to a witch who can give her legs. This witch is none other than the infamous Ursula. Ursula preys on people who want love in order to take their souls. Pretty scary stuff, right? Well, what's even scarier is her face when paused. At the moment when Ursula is talking to Ariel and trying to convince her to trade her voice in for her legs, something really weird happens to the animation. If you pause it just at the right moment, Ursula's face becomes super distorted. She looks positively horrifying. Honestly, this face matches her personality a lot more than her usual one. But we still wonder what happened in this scene. Why would the animators draw her face like that when they knew kids would be watching? It's super scary. Love lost. Sometimes love doesn't go the way that we planned. Most of the time, we can rely on Disney movies to have pretty predictable love stories. The princess meets a prince and then they fall in love. Frozen is a little bit different. Anna does indeed meet a prince. His name is Hans, and the two seem to fall in love. For the majority of the movie, the audience is led to believe that Hans is a great guy and pretty much Anna's soulmate. It isn't until later on in the movie that we realize that Hans is probably the worst person on the planet. He really was only with Anna to take over her kingdom and have the power all to himself. Eventually, Anna does find out how much of a scumbag Hans is. Instead of crying about it, she decides to give him a taste of his own medicine. When Anna sees him again, she punches him in the face. If you pause the movie right at the moment where she punches him, you can see just how hard she hits. Honestly, this image makes us think that maybe Anna has some powers that nobody mentioned, like superhuman strength, because it looks like she absolutely pulverizes his face. Melting face. We all have that friend who is just a little bit ridiculous. She doesn't necessarily follow the rules or do things the way that we would do them. One of the best examples of one of these relationships is shown in The Princess and the Frog. The main character, Tiana, is best friends with a girl named Charlotte LaBeouf. The two have been friends since they were young, but they are completely different. Tiana grew up poor and had to work for everything that she did, whereas Charlotte was given the world by her super rich father. Because of this, Tiana has a great work ethic and plans to one day own her own business. Charlotte's biggest goal in life is to find much of Eric's face shows up and then transforms into Ursula's face. If you pause this at a certain moment, you can see the instance where the face image is half Eric's and half Ursula's. The result is truly terrible. Honestly, it is one of the most terrifying things we have ever seen. If you ever wanted to see what Prince Eric would look like as an evil woman, then here it is. It's an image that we cannot unsee or get out of our heads. No matter how much we wish we could, if you don't want to be haunted by this image like we are, then we suggest you speed past this scene. That's it for 10 paused dizzy moments that snuck by kids. Were you shocked by any of these moments? Let us know in the comments. It's still hard to believe the series ended. The show skyrocketed Ariana Grande to stardom and became one of the most popular shows on Nickelodeon at the time. But have you ever noticed just how many innuendos it has? There's even an episode where the characters have an obsession with feet. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a big thumbs up if you still watch Victorious. Now, let's check out 10 funniest adult jokes in Victorious you might have missed. Adolescent joke. Nickelodeon is known to never really hold back when it comes to teenage jokes that will probably go over a teenager's head. But if you rewatch some of these as an adult, you might appreciate some of these jokes a lot better. In the first episode of Season 3, also known as the Holiday Special episode, Andre got upset for receiving his first failing grade ever. He gets angry and asks how it's possible for a person to go from an A to a D. Jade, whose mind seemed to be far away from grades, replies by saying that this happened to her in the 8th grade. Did you catch the joke? While Andre is definitely talking about failing the class, Jade is actually talking about puberty and her going from an A cup to a D cup. If you watched this as a kid, you probably just thought she was talking about failing grades in the 8th grade. But it turns out, Jade's joke is much heavier with an innuendo only older people would understand. In an earlier take of the same classroom scene, we see Andre losing his cool and pushing Robbie off the chair. We then hear Jade's hilarious comment that she bets that jingled Robbie's bells. Innuendos never end when you're on a Nickelodeon show, and we have all these funny jokes to prove it.
Hey guys, please check out the most awesome sisters on kids, little brothers or sisters.
By advertising on YouTube, I catch the eye of my ideal customers at the right time.
Whatever.
Understand putting a few innuendos in the script here and there, but almost every episode of Victorious has a joke that kids will never understand. Let's go back to the pilot, where we slowly get to know Tori Vega and the rest of the Hollywood Arts high school gang. When it comes to the talent show scene, we see a teacher telling a student to put the microphone on Tori's head, but we then hear Tori complaining that the person didn't put the microphone on her head and hinting they put it somewhere else. We'd like to keep our channel kid-friendly, so we won't tell you where Nickelodeon thinks the microphone actually was, but you can probably get the idea. The joke was innocent enough to go over kids' heads, but we bet watching it back will make you go, Ew. In the pilot, we also start getting to know the personalities
Peter
of
John
the
and
show's main
Schmoke.
characters. But have you noticed that Jade's voice
Thanks,
and
babe,
her look
brother.
has actually changed
You're
since the
welcome
very first
anytime.
episode? Pay attention to the scene where the students have to improv. You'll see that Jade's character and her strong
Keep this
personality
water
developed
too.
more as the show
Are you
went
sure?
on. I'm a throat
Yeah, I'm
player.
sure.
If you're still
Cool.
with us, let us know by
I'll spare
writing
one.
Team Victorious
Nice,
in the
thank
comments
you, babe.
section. In the
You're
third
welcome.
episode of Season 1, we get to learn more about Tori's talents. Tori is becoming more and more frustrated that she has
Do
to
you want
carry
to
around and
fuck
play a
with?
horn, when she'd much
Sure,
rather
why
sing and
not?
use her voice.
Cool.
Simple, right? We all
Love
have
you,
different
babe.
talents,
Love
and
you
it's
too,
important
babe.
to try things out when you're a kid. So when Andre and Kat find Tori being all frustrated, she admits that she's not an instrument player. In her words, she says that her throat is her instrument and she's a throat player instead. Andre says that it doesn't count, and Kat adds that it sounds kind of gross. You wouldn't think much of this joke as a child, but I'm sure there are many adults out there who know why throat playing just isn't something that should ever be said in a show like Victorious. Being a throat player definitely sounds gross and way too inappropriate for a kid's TV show. We're telling you, Nickelodeon has absolutely no filter, even though it would definitely be useful to turn it on at least once in a while. Let's just hope being a throat player doesn't put a lot of pressure on your throat. Do you have a credit card? This is probably one of the most innocent jokes on the show, but we bet there are a lot of adults who have experienced real-life people that behave this way. Kids love to ask for money, right? But the 7th episode of Season 1 featured a scene with Kat and Sinjin, and it feels like an introduction to Kanye West's Gold Digger song. Kat is excited over the Sky Store catalog she got on an airplane. She becomes completely obsessed and buys tons of ridiculous stuff until Beck ends up ripping the catalog to stop her toward the end of the episode. Kat then notices Sinjin and innocently asks him if he has a girlfriend. Sinjin says no, and then Kat asks if he has a credit card, to which he replies with a yes. Kat then suddenly becomes totally interested in him and ends up seductively stroking his arm and telling him to call her sometime. How does Kanye West's song go again? We can definitely find those lyrics in Kat's behavior. We just hope this was just an inappropriate joke and Kat didn't really do anything with Sinjin just so she could get money from him. We all know Ariana Grande loves to sing about embracing the sensual side of being a woman, but we do hope that Nickelodeon knows these characters are too young to do any love-related favors to their friends in exchange for money. Sinjin versus Jade. Teenagers are reckless, especially when we like someone, but Victorious had a scene that made Sinjin look, well, just a little bit creepy. Remember the 9th episode of the first season called The Wi-Fi in the Sky? Tori starts to video chat with Andre, Kat, and Beck to get started on the group assignment they have to do. After a while, Sinjin appears, and this is when things get a bit weird. As Jade realizes that the lamp and the sofa on the screen actually belong to her house, she freaks out. We all know Jade is Sinjin's love interest, but this relationship, or better yet, an obsession, is just one-sided. As soon as Sinjin gets caught, he leaves with his laptop and tells the gang to not tell his mom. It's bizarre that Sinjin was in Jade's house in the first place, but it's even more bizarre that he's totally aware he's doing something wrong and he still does it. This probably seems like a funny joke to all kids, but there's just something extremely creepy about Sinjin's obsession with Jade. In the same episode, we see Beck babysitting a dog for a cheerleader. Jade immediately asks, why is Beck doing favors for a cheerleader? And what is that cheerleader doing for him? This probably didn't mean much to you when you were a kid, but we all know what kind of favors some of the cheerleaders like to do to the boys they like. Tori versus Sinjin. Sinjin is definitely one of those characters that seems to have way too many inappropriate lines. But as a child, you probably never noticed some of the things that came out of his mouth, or other areas for that matter. In the 11th episode of the series, Tori pulls Sinjin in a janitor's closet and asks him to create something so she'll be able to spy on her friends. While she's explaining the secret plan, Sinjin keeps imagining she'll kiss him because that's what happens in his dream whenever she pulls him in the janitor's closet. Tori ignores Sinjin's creepy behavior and keeps on asking him for help until he agrees. When he says yes, she gives him a kiss on the cheek. Completely shocked, Sinjin watches her leave the closet and says he's experiencing the same feeling he already felt before. Tori comes back to tell him she heard that and leaves again. Something tells us that in Sinjin's dreams, Tori is doing something more than just kissing him to make that certain feeling come to Sinjin. The more we talk about Sinjin, the more we feel like his stories are all just a big inappropriate joke. Sure, teenage boys will do anything to get a kiss from the girl they like, but what Sinjin's doing is just a bit TMI. Slapped with a sausage. If you thought inappropriate jokes ever end in Victorious, you're wrong. Even though the show officially ended, you can find more and more adult jokes as you rewatch the episodes. In the 12th episode called Kat's New Boyfriend, things just get really weird. We see the students partying at the kickback, and the running joke of the night is the mysterious sausages they are eating because Sikowitz, the acting teacher, won't tell them what meat they're made of. That alone should raise a few eyebrows, but it even gets odder. We see Tori watching Kat and Danny dancing. Jade then asks her if Danny ever spun her like that. Instead of replying, Tori aggressively asks if Jade would like to be slapped by a sausage. Any normal reaction would be saying no, but for some strange reason, Jade says yes. Tori obviously refuses, but why on earth would Jade even say yes in the first place? Is Nickelodeon implying that Jade is familiar with this sort of thing? Let's just stop right here before things get any more gross, shall we? We can probably get an idea why Jade would say yes to getting a mysterious sausage in her face. It's far too inappropriate.
Come on, you stupid phone.
Around. After dropping a large metal container on his foot, Stan realizes he's completely alone and begins to say, "Son of a," before Dipper quickly shuts off the tape. We all knew that if the video continued to play, we would hear the term for a female dog, probably with a whole string of other words to go along with it. The Mystery Shack is a great name for a tourist trap, but this wasn't the first type of branding Stan chose to use for the location. In the episode A Tale of Two Stans, we not only learned that Stan had a twin brother named Ford, but the Mystery Shack had a previous name as well, through some keen observations. A newspaper headline on the back wall reveals the name of the shack was once the Murder Hut. As we process all of the information from Stan's past, we have to wonder what kind of murders or gruesome crimes took place in the Murder Hut before it became a summer breakdown for Mabel and Dipper.
Advertising on YouTube helps me reach engaged customers like Jenna, who's been searching for landscapers on Google. So when she watches you...
Fuck off,
Through
man.
both seasons of Gravity Falls, Grunkle Stan had many words of wisdom, and many words that should never be considered wisdom. One of those points came when he gave his thoughts on watching scary movies. He quickly drifted off on the whole point of the movie, going from cuddling to a significant other when they get scared, and then shifting drastically to all of a sudden having a kid. Yeah, Stan basically broke down exactly what Netflix and chill means, especially without birth control. The 12-year-olds that he's looking over for the summer are far too young for this type of advice, but adults watching knew exactly what he meant. The annual Woodstick Festival brings all types of hippies into Gravity Falls, and one of them is the singer and love
Let's have a
potion
smoke,
guru
and then
known
we'll
as
fuck,
the
and
Love
then I'll
God.
come inside
Well,
your
it's pretty clear by his
sister,
band
babe.
and his
Done.
hippie lifestyle that he
Daddy,
partakes in a
love
lot
you.
of
Love you too, babe.
extracurricular activities, and a couple of screenshots may actually prove it. When Mabel and Dipper go to steal the Love God's potions, they head into the back of his van. If you look closely, you can see an empty bottle with a pretty obvious shape to it. The container is obviously used for more recreational type of potions, one that many of the Woodstick Festival attendees would be
Why
very
do you wanna fuck
interested in.
that?
We've already discussed how Stan's advice may not be the best option, but Dipper got some grown-up advice firsthand thanks to Stan. When trying to teach the young lad about the birds and the bees, Dipper gets treated to a book that's probably really outdated. The title, Why Am I All Sweaty, has all the answers to questions Dipper probably isn't ready to hear yet. The only problem, it was actually Mabel in Dipper's body. Awkward. So Stan pulls out this gem of a book and follows it up with some pretty adult-themed words of wisdom. And Mabel, still trapped in Dipper's body, says it best.
Goodbye, childhood.
Remember back when Stan wanted to flip the bird after getting his hands back? Well, turns out the adult content went even further just a few moments later. Once Stan finally does get his hands, he doesn't flip the bird on screen anyway, but he does reveal his nicknames for them. One hand is named Shaky, and the other Scratchy, clearly indicating the actions he uses them for. We can only imagine what he scratches, and the whole shaky thing could mean a whole lot more than just shaking hands. Well, even if it is just for shaking hands, at least he scratches with the other one. That's respect. Now we have to wonder if he has nicknames for any of his other body parts. Poor old man McGucket always gets a bad rap in Gravity Falls, as teenagers and others take advantage of him time and time again. One of the more adult-oriented insults has to be from the episode Society of the Blind Eye. In the episode, a couple of teens decide to spray paint the outside of his junkyard home. What they end up writing is McSucket, which is a pretty degrading insult with a lot of innuendo attached to it. Anyone who grew up watching the antics of the WWE faction Degeneration X know exactly what we're talking about when using the phrase suck it. How in the world did Gravity Falls get away with this? The questionable glass container that we saw in the Love God...
Let's head to the club. Done, babe. Let's head downstairs and head to the club, I guess. May as well. It's my kingdom. I'm allowed to do whatever I fuck I want. I can fuck people's moms or anything really. If they don't like it, then they'll get killed. Basically, that's how I work. If you live here, then I have to fuck your wife, fuck your girlfriend, or so on and so on and so on. So yeah. So people don't like it, then they can, you know, they'll die basically. The firing squad will kill you. So yeah, basically, you know. That's why these people are in here. So yeah, they're waiting until firing squad arrives, and then pop, 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 pop. You know. So yeah, I don't believe in jail or prison. I believe when you did a crime here, you have to die. Let's head to town. Done. I cannot believe it. It's been a couple of years, and I took over Mars. These are my guards, basically. My men, and yeah, I have my own hologram, you know, hologram / robot section. This is my cousin also. I programmed her to be my cousin. So yeah, this is the kitchen, dinner table, and then a chill area, another kitchen dinner table, and here is your storage area. Over here is my bedroom, and out here this way leads to the backyard, basically the lounge room and the yard, pretty much. I have, these are my animals basically. So yeah, and yeah, this is my base pretty much, and that's my town down there what I own, and that also I own that. That's my kingdom basically over there. This is just my house, and then over there, that ship I use for my kingdom. I don't fly it, I only use for it to be my kingdom. I only fly that ship. I have a new ship, I have heaps of ships, because the shift give me that. So yeah, and my guards up there look out people. So yeah, they are looking out to see if there's anyone around trying to assassinate me or do something like that. So yeah, this is my house basically. I guess let's chill and look, speakers there, speaker there, speaker there. So yeah, the music is gonna be really loud. Let's chill on this balcony here, like, you know. So yeah, let's smoke some weed and watch YouTube, I guess. Oh yeah, that's right, I need to charge up my hologram called Katana. I'm out of this, I'm out of the character for a second. In this universe, Halo and Star Wars and Mass Effect are all in the same universe, pretty much. So yeah. Okay, go into character now, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. On, off. That. On, off. And then one more. And then there we are, it's charging it. Nice. Yeah, buddy. And my other sister, what's going on with me? She's in the hospital. She's pregnant. She's having the kids. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Was in slow motion.
Let's have a joint.
Through the fence.
Taina was one of the first Latina-led shows on TV, airing on Nickelodeon from 2001 to 2002. The show was about the eponymous Puerto Rican teenager and her dream of becoming a famous singer and actor. It performed well with solid ratings, but it was canned after just 2 seasons. Reports claim the show was cancelled because it only appealed to girls. But Josh Cruz, who played Taina's father, claimed that increasing production costs played a part. The actress who played the part, Christina Vidal, revealed that the team had already written season 3, and the show creator, Maria Perez Brown, explained her take on why it all went south. She explained there were talent issues, and the show stopped because there were business deals that were signed that were not part of the plan. She also revealed that they planned a 3-part movie, so the team behind the show was just as surprised as the audience when it was canceled. But the creator revealed in 2019 that there could be a reboot with the original cast as adults, appealing to the nostalgia audience and also with their own kids. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that.
We need hope. We need to share with each other the hope that's in our lives.
We're going further back into the Nickelodeon archives with Clarissa Explains It All. Melissa Joan Hart starred as the eponymous character.
Isn't a fan of creating shows that have more than 3 seasons, but every now and then a popular series comes along and breaks the mold. Wizards of Waverly Place followed 3 wizard siblings who were constantly competing to become the sole owner of their family's powers. The show won countless awards and was a total hit. It also boosted Selena Gomez into the limelight, helping her become the star she was meant to be. The show was so successful, Disney Channel was ready to renew it for a 5th season. However, the teen stars felt like it was time for them to move on and start planning their futures. Many of them were ready to throw in their towels and head off to college. So without its main actors, Disney Channel had no choice but to wrap the series.
Prepare to be punished severely for what you have done.
Honesty feels pretty good, huh?
Boy Meets World is one of the most beloved sitcoms from the 90s.
I guess what's in
With
the
this in
burger.
mind, it did change. She also congratulated her co-stars for receiving their own show, which would go on to have a total of 4 seasons too. Disney Channel's Jessie wasn't cancelled for scandalous or repulsive reasons, but the same can't be said about Andy Mack. Watch until the end to find out which cast member ruined the show's golden reputation.
We made a pretty good
Do
team.
you want me to do anything else, Master? Cousin?
Lot 15.
Yeah,
What, please?
I want
Sorry,
you
Ash, got
to
voted
smoke
tonight.
with me.
Score remains lot 15.
And then fuck
Keep
me,
it down, please.
basically.
I can hear someone's nostril whistling.
Sure. Cool.
Whoever's scratching his plums, you're ruining it for...
Fuck off, Edge.
Hannah Montana. Disney Channel has the secret recipe when it comes to creating celebrities. Many of their leading ladies go on to become huge stars once they sever ties with the Disney Channel name. This was the case for Miley Cyrus, who rose to fame on the set of Hannah Montana from 2006 to 2011. The sitcom starred Miley Cyrus as Miley Stewart, aka Hannah Montana, Emily Osment as Lily Truscott, Jason Earls as Jackson Stewart, Billy Ray Cyrus as Robbie Ray Stewart, and Mitchell Musso and Oliver Oken. All in all, Hannah Montana received amazing ratings throughout its 4-season run, which made the show's cancellation all the more surprising. In the end, Miley Cyrus was growing up at an alarming speed and quickly growing tired of the many rules Disney Channel stars had to follow. She opted for a more mature image, causing critics to believe that she was a bad example for young kids. Despite the show's huge following, Disney had no choice but to cancel it.
Baby?
Such a disaster.
Sure.
Totally.
Thanks, baby.
Liv and Maddie. Liv and Maddie aired for a total of 4 seasons from 2013 to 2017. The show had a fun concept and starred Dove Cameron as both Liv and Maddie Rooney. The series followed a pair of identical twins with opposing personalities.
And we have the same face, yet she's the cute one.
Dove Cameron would go on to become the face of the Descendants franchise after Liv and Maddie aired its final episode in 2017. Still, fans were curious as to why such a hilarious and unique sitcom got the boot after just 4 seasons. As it turns out, ratings started to dip after season 3, causing the show's creator, Ron Hart, to announce the series would not be renewed for a 5th and final season. Disney Channel rushed to wrap up any loose ends on Liv and Maddie, and most viewers were happy with the finale.
I love that! Guys, let's do do it. Bam! What?
KC Undercover. KC Undercover quickly became one of the most watched TV shows on Disney Channel. The series ran from 2015 to 2018 and had a total of 3 seasons. But fans would have preferred if KC Undercover had continued for another season or 2. However, due to the nature of the show and how it came to be, 3 seasons were all that Zendaya could commit to. Zendaya had previously starred on Disney Channel's Shake It Up with Bella Thorne, but when the show got cancelled, Zendaya chose to leave the Disney Channel family. She felt as though Disney failed to represent families of color and lost interest in working with them.
Yeah, that's been bothering me a little bit too.
That is, until Disney Channel executives agreed to create a show that revolved around a family of color while giving Zendaya some creative freedom. Zendaya returned to give viewers the family sitcom they deserved. However, she didn't plan on sticking around forever. Zendaya was more than ready to move, and after 3 seasons, KC Undercover wrapped up production after filming 76 episodes, and Zendaya left to pursue new and more mature endeavors.
I'm 100% sure about my
Can
decision.
we go out?
Lizzie Mcguire.
So,
Hilary Duff was one of Disney Channel's first ever stars, and her show, Lizzie Mcguire, was a total hit.
Men's Operation Superstar for Rat.
The sitcom aired from 2001 to 2004 and had a total of 2 seasons and 65 episodes. For a long time, fans of the show wondered why Disney Channel chose to cancel Lizzie Mcguire despite its